Hello guys, Ketu Marjan here, and today I'm making this video as to why you should take the TOEFL test instead of any other test, and specifically IELTS. Now we'll start with that TOEFL is the most widely accepted language test in the entire world. It is much more widely accepted than IELTS. I mean, there will be places where IELTS might not be accepted, but TOEFL will be, for example, for higher education. But it might not be accepted in some places, but the majority of places TOEFL is the most widely accepted test. Next is availability. Well, TOEFL is available in much more places than IELTS. It might be available at 4 different places in the very same city, while IELTS, on the other hand, might be available at only one place. So you have the choice to select any center that is close to your home, and you can reach there in time and not suffer anxiety. Now, although TOEFL is a bit harder test as compared to IELTS, but every good thing comes with hardships. If we talk about its fees, then it is 3,000 to 4,000 rupees cheaper than the IELTS test. You can get yourself some preparation books with that money, so not a bad choice. Now, to speak about the material differences and the superiority of TOEFL over the IELTS, I would start with the reading section. In both of these reading sections, in both IELTS and TOEFL, you will have a paragraph and followed by questions that you would have to answer. But in TOEFL, you will see the paragraph, just drag down, click next, and then the questions will appear, and each question will appear next to the paragraph from where the question is, which is a big advantage of TOEFL over the IELTS, because you won't have to look for the answer in the entire passage, but you are specified to a very paragraph, and when you can look for an answer of the question from that paragraph, instead of first reading the entire passage and then figuring out where the answer of this question might be. Another benefit that you will get is that if there are certain words that are really hard for you to understand, and if they are highlighted, you can click on that word and their meaning in simple English will pop up in front of you. While that is not the case with IELTS. In IELTS, you cannot click on the page. I mean, it's just the paper. You cannot click on the paper to know the meanings of some hard words. You will have to figure them out yourself. So it's also another advantage of TOEFL. Now, if you're a guy like me and you get bored of sitting somewhere for too long, then whoa, don't worry, TOEFL is the test for you, because after 2 sections you have a break of 10 minutes in which you can go to washroom, you can go and take a juice or whatever. You can just take a walk to stretch your legs and pretty much do anything you want. But in IELTS, you have no break between 3 sections. Okay, the speaking section is a separate one that will maybe be 7 days before the test or after the test, or maybe on the same day, but the first 3 sections, they will be just consecutive and you won't have any break. Now, if we come to the listening section, now IELTS is a more generalized test, so it includes the accents of different regions. So it can have British accent, Irish, Scottish, Australian accent, all of these accents. If you have never heard Scottish accent, it's hard to understand.
Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who'd been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the Territory. So she was very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near the Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so,
it's not hard to understand, but at least it's different. If you have never heard Scottish accent before and Irish accent before, then it might get a little bit hard for you to catch up with a paragraph or something that you are listening to right in the test. On TOEFL, on the other hand, you just have American accent with a few exceptions in for 1 or 2 questions. There will be British accent or any other, but you get my point. Let's come to the section that everyone's waiting for, the speaking section. Now, the speaking section, TOEFL has a very big advantage over IELTS. How does it have it? Well, TOEFL is a test based on computer. So you say your answer into the earphone and it gets recorded into the computer. You are not talking to a person one-on-one like in IELTS. So if you're a shy person, you can opt for TOEFL and take the test, say whatever you want to say, not anything related to the question, and you might be much more comfortable in front of a computer as opposed to a person in IELTS. Now, if you come to the writing section, there are advantages too in the writing section. As the test is on computer, so if you make some mistake in the writing section, writing your essay, you can press backspace and erase your mistake. And if there is a grammatical mistake, I believe, I'm not certain, I don't exactly remember, but I believe that there will be a red line below that word if you mistype it. On the other hand, on the IELTS, you'd have to write on the paper, okay? So if you made a mistake in the middle of your essay, you would just have to scratch that. How bad will it present your essay? Another benefit is that in the reading and the listening section, the questions on TOEFL will only be multiple choice questions, okay? So you have only one kind of questions. IELTS, on the other hand, you'd be required to answer short question, you'd be required to answer true, false, multiple choice questions too, and match the columns, you know, this kind of thing. And things like that, different bunch of questions. So answering only one kind of question, I think it would be much more easier. I mean, it will be consistent. Another thing is that IELTS is a progressive test, so the questions get harder as you move on. TOEFL is not progressive. Questions are just random, hard and different and random. So if you get stuck on some question, you can just skip it. On IELTS, on the other hand, if you get stuck in the starting questions, you'd get anxiety. You'll start losing your confidence because you'd be thinking that, oh, I cannot answer this simple question. How am I supposed to answer that are about to come, that are going to be really hard? In that case, I think TOEFL is a better choice to go with. TOEFL also have a lot of its hardships and negative points as opposed to IELTS, but I'm not going to talk about them in this video. This video was all about why you should take the TOEFL test. Now, I myself took the TOEFL test in January 2017 and I scored 98, a total of 98. That was because of reading portion, which I got a really low score. I will show you my score. I got 20 in reading out of 30. In the speaking portion, I got 23. In the listening, I got 28. And on the writing, I got 27. So, I mean, my score wasn't bad. Only if my reading portion had got well, which now I have understood that I am really bad at understanding paragraphs that have very dense concepts hidden in the writing. So it gets harder for me to understand it in shorter time and when I am in a hurry. If you have any question, just leave them down in the comment section below. I'll get to them. And till then, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to make a lot of videos about scholarship guidance for foreign countries and for specifically FSC students. So stay tuned, and I'm Keru Marjan. Have a good one.